is really down to the unconscious bias that is in the system, in the finance industry, in the banking industry, in the private equity and venture capital industry, where a woman is looking for funding, but she's in front of all men. So we have unconscious biases in the system because we don't have enough women as capital allocators. We don't have enough women in investment making and decision roles. And this has actually been proven by Harvard Business Review, by London Business School, where they've proven that the language that is used to describe female entrepreneurs versus male entrepreneurs is very, very different. So a female entrepreneur will be described as young and inexperienced, whereas a male entrepreneur will be described as young but enthusiastic, or young and promising. London Business School also showed that male entrepreneurs are asked promotion questions, whereas female entrepreneurs are asked preventative questions. So a male entrepreneur might be asked, how do you plan to build your business over the next 5 years? A female entrepreneur will be asked, how do you intend not to lose customers over the next 5 years? So this type of line of questioning has actually proven to show that women receive 6 times less funding because of that, because they're emphasizing the risk when discussing with women rather than emphasizing the opportunity. And this can only really change, in my view, when you have more funds like Aruwa that are owned and run by women, where we're able to relate with other female entrepreneurs. We are female entrepreneurs ourselves, and we're able to really be intentional about addressing these gaps that we see in access to capital for female entrepreneurs. So these unconscious biases can never really change until we change the people that are writing the checks and the people that are driving the investment decisions. And that's really the onus of why I set up Aruwa Capital a couple of years ago, because we're very, very intentional and very, very passionate about making sure that we don't continue to see these very, discouraging statistics with regards to access to capital for women.
Nice. But what can we do? What can be done to improve these numbers?
Yeah, well, it's very simple. Women entrepreneurs urgently need access to capital. The best way to get access to women as quickly as possible is to invest in women that allocate capital. The research has shown that if you have women as fund managers, if you have women in investment decision-making roles, they're 2 times more likely to invest in female startups that are founded by women. They're 3 times more likely to invest in female in startups with a female CEO. So the answer is very quick. Invest in women that are allocating capital. Invest in companies that have investment committees that are gender balanced, that where women are actually driving investment decisions, and the capital naturally flows to women. Because we have women in our networks. Female entrepreneurs are more amenable to coming to me to talk to me because I'm a woman like them. So it's very simple in my view. We change these gaps, we improve these access to capital numbers by making sure that we are investing in women that are allocating capital and getting more women in investment decision-making roles.
Nice. You can join the conversation. Send us your WhatsApp messages to 0809-444-0981. Again, 0809-444-0981. We're discussing the low level funding for female-led SMEs and how to improve them. And the voice you just heard is my guest. She is Adesuwa Rhodes, the founder and managing partner of Aruwa Capital Management. Now, let's talk about diversity. On the diversity front, we are making the business case to invest in women as fund managers, as entrepreneurs, as consumers, and stakeholders in the society. But is there an upside to that?
For sure. I see it as one of the most attractive arbitrage opportunities in investing right now, because you're really investing where no one else is looking. So that limited competition really gives you the ability to pick the best businesses. But aside from that, the research has shown that gender diversity in companies, gender diversity in executive teams helps to reduce risk, helps to improve profitability. So we see it as a very, very strong competitive advantage for us to improve the returns for our investors. BCG, the Boston Consulting Group, found that for every dollar of funding invested, startups founded or co-founded by women generated 2.5 times more than male-founded startups. McKinsey has also shown that gender diverse executive teams are 21% more likely to experience above average profitability. IFC have shown that gender balanced senior investment teams generate 20% more return than those that don't have gender balance. So I think we're moving past the data conversation now. A lot of global institutions have brought out data that shows that there is significant upside in investing in women, significant upside in investing in the female economy. So it's really just down to us to really just continue to prove that business case with our investments. But yes, we think that there is significant upside, and one that more and more people are now catching on to.
Nice. Now, how do you measure the return to a PE firm that adopts your, women-focused investment philosophy?
Yeah, so you would measure the return exactly the same way. You wouldn't measure it any differently. And I think that's the misconception that some people may have, that because you're investing with a gender lens, because you're investing in businesses that are by women or for women, then for some reason your returns can't be on the same par as any other private equity fund. And that is wrong. We target the same returns. We stand shoulder to shoulder with any other private equity fund out there. It's just that we're intentional about addressing these gaps that we discussed. And we actually think that by addressing these gaps that we discussed, our returns will actually surpass some of the other private equity funds in the market. So yeah, we don't measure it any differently. I would say that we're very intentional about generating attractive returns, but I think through this strategy, an added bonus and an added benefit is because women invest in everyone else. There is also tremendous social impact as well, because women are typically reinvesting 90% of their income into their children, into their family. Men are only investing 30 to 40%. So as we have more women that are financially independent, reinvesting into healthcare, education for their children, for their family, there is also a huge social impact. So we measure the financial return, which is the same, if not better than any other private equity firm, but we also intentionally measure the social impact as well, in terms of the jobs that we're creating for women, the funding that women have been able to access, the incomes that are being generated as a result of our investment for women. So these are things that we track as well.
Now, when we come back after this, we're going to take a wider look at the strides that Nigeria has made in attracting private equity funding. And this time, I'm going to ask you the question when we come back after this. What do you make of that, of all this development so far? If you're listening, if you're just tuning in, by the way, this is Business Hub right here on Smooth Drive. My name is Judith Atibi. My guest is Adesuwa Rhodes. She is the founder and managing partner of Aruwa Capital Management. And we're talking about funding when it comes to, especially for female-led SMEs, and how to improve it, and all about accessibility and more. Stay with us. Love life. All right, so we are on a break, and we'll be back after this.
Great. Hope I'm not waffling.
No, you are perfectly fine. You're doing really well.
Thank you.
98.1. Hello. Have you bought your share of MTN at 169 Naira? Yes, I'm talking to you. You know the offer closes on the 14th of December 2021, right? Here are the ways you can buy your MTN shares.
Okay, so question for Drive. You want to break?
For my people,
question for Drive Time is question. He gives me everything. He loves me. He gives me everything. He takes care of my needs, pays my bills. But he doesn't scold me. He doesn't beat me. Does he really love me?
He doesn't scold me. He doesn't beat me.
Yes.
I beg.
I know, Marcia just gave me an idea of that.
I beg.
Okay, how about this one? Now we want to talk about it. So he's cheating on his wife, but he's not cheating on his wife with a woman. He's cheating on his wife with a man.
I'll do you one better. It's Christmas, and you know how they do their photograph, their family photograph thing. And this man, and she's, this is a friend sending it in. I saw it somewhere. And the man, he has kids from another marriage. She has kids from another marriage. They came together and they have their own children right together. And what she did was the mother-in-law sent, what's it called? What do they call this thing again? Pajamas, matching pajamas.
Yes.
And bought pajamas only for her grandchildren. That's the man's children and the children she has it, like they have together.
Yes.
But her own children, she didn't buy anything for them. She didn't buy any matching. So how would you react to that type of situation? That's what we're doing.
Okay, see how you shake your head.
That was one fight.
They take it like that now. Maybe if you can now.
All I want for
That's the
Christmas
vision already.
is a nourishing meal, jollof rice, nkwabi, and pepper soup.
Make this Christmas nourishing with a No Christmas gift box filled with a range of products, a free gift, and a recipe book filled with inspirational and nourishing Christmas dishes. Visit the nearest store to buy and share the goodness with family, friends, and loved ones.
Give me one no Christmas gift box. Steffi. I said I must look for the boss lady today. Oh, my sister. I almost didn't recognize your shop. See how you loaded everywhere. Hey, business has been good. Yeah. Is it not the same business I'm doing? My sister, come and upgrade.
And tips for a successful business.
Talk true. SME grow my business is more than a
Business Hub on Smooth. Stay tuned. Tools and tips.
To over 100 million Nigerians. Wow. Oh yeah, come and give me the code. Me set me to be a boss lady.
Open a Zenith Bank SME Grow My Business account today and enjoy benefits such as fast and easy loans at low interest rate, free website, customized debit card, free digital training, and lots more. Visit any Zenith Bank branch or www.zenithbank.com/SME now to get started. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. Hello. Have you bought your share of MTN at 169 Naira? Yes, I'm talking to you. You know the offer closes on the 14th of December 2021, right? Here are the ways you can buy your MTN shares before.
Is this the only break that we have?
People to relax and be taken.
Or is there another one after this?
You can visit our website at www.mtnonline.com/PO to buy now. For my always on the move busy bees, you can download.
Hello, Jennifer, are you there?
App, primary offer, spelled one
No?
word, from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store to buy straight from your phone. For my financially savvy people, I'm sure you already know what to do. Just contact your stockbroker or bank to buy. This is the journey of a lifetime. Don't miss out on this. Buy now.
Everywhere you go, MTN. It's your smooth drive home.
Or we're coming back after this. I forgot to mention that we're streaming live on YouTube. So do you mind if you put your video on?
Business Hub.
Oh, sorry. No, I can't put my video on. I'm not prepared for that.
Okay. All right. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. We're going back on. Hey, welcome back. You're listening to Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. It's the Smooth Drive right here. We're inside the second half of course, Business Hub, right here on the show. Joining me live in the studio. No, via Zoom studio. No, she's on Zoom with me. She's Adesuwa Rhodes, and she's our guest today. We're discussing the low level of funding for female-led SMEs and how to improve it. All right. And Adesuwa Rhodes is the founder and managing partner of Aruwa Capital Management. We've been talking about just how best to improve those numbers that we're seeing, why the funding, the number of women that have been funded or team or businesses that are led by, females, pretty much is, compared to men, is pretty much at 1%. Why is that? We discussed about that, and also what can be done to improve these numbers. So you can always join the conversation. Send us your WhatsApp messages to 0809-444-0981. Again, 0809-444-0981. Now, before the break, we're also talking about how, to measure the return of a private equity firm that adopts, Adesuwa, your women-focused investment philosophy. Now, let's look at the strides Nigeria has made in attracting private equity funding. Nigeria in the past 5 years has attracted more than half of the private equity funding allocated or allotted to the West African sub-region. What do you make of that development?
Yeah, no, I think it's a very positive development. It's been great that we've been able to see the numbers improve compared to 2015. So, we've seen that uptick in deal activity with Nigeria, obviously being, the largest economy, the largest population, having a significant portion of that. So it's definitely showing that there is progress, there is appetite for private equity. There was, obviously some slowdown in activity last year, but in 2019, but in 2020, we've seen that improve. So that uptick in activity is encouraging. And we also haven't just seen that in private equity, we've also seen that in venture capital, where we've had a record year this year. Over $4 billion of capital has been raised by startups. That's more than 2018, 2019, and 2020 all combined. Wow. So I think it's a very, very exciting time for private equity and venture capital in Nigeria and across Africa. And now is really the time to invest because, where fixed income is, it's, inflation is at 16%, fixed income is returning less than 10%. So people are really looking for alternative investment outlets, and that's what private equity and venture capital can offer.
So what about, what are private equity funds chasing after in the continent? Is it manufacturing or, technology or other sectors altogether?
Yeah, I think those sectors remain predominant. So I think from the research, financials also make up a big portion of the sectors that remain of focus. Consumer discretionary do as well. So I would say that financials, manufacturing, technology, these are sectors that private equity investors are very, very bullish about. And within financials, in 2020, I believe over 70% of the deals within financials were fintech deals. And I know that fintech is becoming, a very, very sexy area that everyone is pouring money into, having seen the $1 billion valuations of Flutterwave, having seen the $200 million, acquisition of Paystack by Stripe. So I would say in addition to manufacturing, fintech is also something that is catching the investors' attention at the moment.
Nice. Well, I have a message here from Gilbert, and it goes, good evening, Judith, and your guest. I am Gilbert Musa from Festac. Laudable work by Adesuwa Rhodes, but what plan do you have to reach the grassroots female group? That's what I was asking there.
The grassroots. Well, I think this may be talking about maybe bringing the informal economy into the formal economy. Is that the grassroots? I would assume that is it.
Yes.
So I think for us, we're very intentional about making sure that our investments touch women across the value chain. So not just women that are the founders, not just women that are the CEOs, but also women in the workforce, women that are suppliers, women in the distribution value chain, women in the supply chain. And some of these women in the value chain are in the informal sector. And what we've seen is that as we provide them with this capital, as we provide companies with capital, and as they scale up, we're able to increase the income of some of these women in the value chain and bring them from small mom and pop informal shops to formal SME businesses. So that's something that I'm very passionate about. It's making sure that not only is it the CEO or the founder that's a woman that we're impacting, but also women across the value chain to make them more financially independent and to increase their incomes.
Nice. Adesuwa, can private equity be described as, patient capital, or must there be a return within 5 years or less?
I would say that it's definitely patient. It's the most patient type of capital that we can get in Nigeria if you're not getting concessionary funding. So it's the most patient commercial capital, and private equity investors, they want to see a return within 4 to 6 years. but it's definitely better than a bank loan, right? That is typically 1 or 2 years, 25% interest, very, very expensive. So I would say that private equity sometimes is a good alternative for companies that are looking to grow and want that patient capital where they're not paying interest, paying principal within a short time frame.
Nice. Now, we know that we're pretty much still in a pandemic, but at the hit of it makes one wonder, how did PE funds manage during the pandemic itself? Were they nimble enough to, adapt?
Yes, I would definitely say so. I can speak for myself. We run a PE fund, and I think the pandemic was really a time to really support portfolio companies and optimize, existing portfolios. We have portfolio companies in manufacturing that were significantly hit with the disruptions in the supply chain. So I would say that COVID really helped, it taught us that we need to be flexible in dealing with our companies. We need to be nimble. If we need to pivot certain strategies, you need to work very, very closely with management. So I would say that most PE funds were really focused on just optimizing their existing portfolios and understanding how their business models could fit in with the new normal. But yes, I would say that 2020 was definitely a year of many lessons. But I think that those that survived, the businesses that survived, have come out very much stronger this year.
All right. Now, you run a private equity fund. Now, what's your attitude to the next year, being that it's a pre-election year? Is it a wait and see approach, or will investments be held back? Do you think it will be held back?
I personally, for us, it's not a wait and see approach. We remain very bullish on Nigeria. We're investing for the long term. So, election cycles come and go. So I really think it's about your investment strategy. And our focus is not based on cyclical events. We tend to invest in essential goods and services. So you're always going to need healthcare. You're always going to need access to financial services, make payments. You're always going to need access to power. You're always going to need access to essential consumer goods. So by focusing on essential goods and services, we are not, necessarily held back by an election year. Because even if it's an election year, you need to eat, you need to go to the hospital, you need to have essential hygiene goods. So these are the things that we focus on to ensure that we're not impacted by, change of government or, macroeconomic swings.
Nice. Now, before I let you go, if you're investing in people, what role do education, skills, and human capital development play in that?
Yeah, so I think it plays a very huge role. And I think that, for us at Aruwa, we're providing more than just capital into the businesses that we invest in. We're also investing in skills and human capacity development because, we bring a lot of knowledge transfer when we make our investments, how we teach CEOs, entrepreneurs, businesses, how to optimize their processes, how to improve operations, how to improve corporate governance. Because a lot of the entrepreneurs that we speak to, they've been very, very focused on just growing their top line and growing their business. They haven't really thought about structure and how to streamline and improve their bottom line. So yes, for us, skills and human capital development is very, very key. And we aim to do that through our investments with providing capital, but also providing skills and knowledge transfer to help these businesses truly scale up effectively.
Adesuwa, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Adesuwa Rhodes right there. She's a founder and managing partner of Aruwa Capital Management. And we've been discussing about the low level of funding for female-led SMEs and how to improve it. I can catch a replay of this particular segment right on our YouTube page. It's right up there right now. It's Smooth 981. So go on there to catch it. This has been Business Hub on Smooth Drive. My name is Judith Atibi. Stay with us.
All three sectors can work together.
For everything.
All right, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much. Am I on YouTube now, or
it's on, but I'm gonna stop the streaming just so I'm gonna stop it.